Hi and welcome to this 14th video about health and family. So today we reach the famous moment of birth. As you see, we are in a nice theater for that. The baby has to pass the gate. So just a few things very important to know to accompany the baby. In the past we were thinking that the obstetrician was delivering the baby. After that we have said no, it's not the obstetrician, this is the mother who delivered the baby. Today the understanding of the delivery is more deep, and we know that this is a baby that delivers himself or herself. I explain. The uterus is a muscle, and this muscle, when the muscle is in full tension and when the baby is ready to go, the baby is going to push with hands, head, bottom, and feet. Is going to push and stretch this muscle. There is a law in neurology that says that a muscle just reacts to stretching. As soon as the baby starts to stretch the uterus, you have contraction. Could be false work, it could be real work, whatever. This is a baby that started. And of course, pushing on the neck of the uterus, the baby creates a whole contraction of the whole uterus altogether. So very important to know that when the baby is ready, the baby started. This is the first thing which is so important to know about induction. Most of the time induction is too much practice, let's say. As soon as you start an induction with oxytocin, pitocin, you most of the time will have very strange reaction of the body. You induce a super strong contraction of the uterus without the consent, without the preparation, without the accompaniment of the baby. So most of the time is something very traumatic. But of course, few cases, you need to use it. So sometimes it could really save the life of the baby, but there is a tendency, a habit, a kind of nearly anticipation to not trust the baby and induce the baby. Of course, if you have lose the water, there is a dryness, there is a certain sign, induction is the best things to do. So just a few landmarks to know, because the problem of having automatism in the procedure makes sometimes to not go with the nature and not read properly the need of the mother and the baby. Second things, which is so important for the delivery, is to know that you have to deliver as you made your baby. Remember, when you made the baby, usually it's not in a crowd with full of light, it's usually in intimacy, just with your beloved in a very intimate moment. We hope with a lot of love and connection and understanding. This is the same for the delivery. Michel Audin, which is the biggest advocate of the natural birth, has described all this process so gorgeously with the principle of the natural oxytocin. When you give a fake oxytocin, you make your baby more prone to fake love later in life, because oxytocin is the hormone of love. The mother is not just sending oxytocin for delivery, you send it all the time during the pregnancy. You have much more oxytocin naturally in the womb than any place else and at any moment of your life, but each time you have happy moments, you trigger oxytocin in your blood and you have this expansion in yourself. For the baby, there is two phases. You have a phase of oxytocin that creates the dilatation of the opening, and you have this phase of contracture that comes with the catecholamines, the opposite of oxytocin, adrenalines and other catecholamines hormones. So there is a cocktail of opening, contraction. So the play will be in between the two things. To let the baby go out, you have to open, you have to contract, open, contract, open, contract. And so you have to envision this process before entering in it, to avoid to be too surprised by the intensity of the contraction, and to don't block the opening, because it will be a huge roller coaster you are going to go through. In between each contraction, you will have to completely fall asleep, fall in a kind of ecstasy mode, the more relaxing, the more yoga and zen mode. But just after that you will have this huge contraction, and when the uterus is going to contract, This is spiral fiber that go around the baby, but that recruit your whole body around. So your whole body is going to enter in contraction with the uterus, with the baby. So it's really a teamwork. And during these moments, this is probably the highest intensity of experience in your life, of like the highest sport, like if you was climbing a level that you're not used to reach. So all your muscle and your presence and concentration has to be there during the contraction to let follow the guide who is the baby. So this guide that will go in front of you to lead you at the front of this mountain is really the one you have to follow, but you have to be ready to be there when he pushes the rope. And so these moments are so opposite, so apparently in contradiction, but this is what happened during the delivery. This moment of full intensity, full presence, and after that completely zen, like a Buddha in complete ecstasy, eventually to fall asleep, to completely abandon yourself, to create this dilatation. And you do that in a process of huge tension in the womb. So this is something really challenging. It's really a passage, a narrow passage, at many levels, physically, emotionally, mentally, and either spiritually. Usually this is a moment of your life where you have to be ready to die. Dying in the meaning of surrender, of let you completely abandon, to be ready to lose everything, to lose your mind, to lose your heart, to lose everything. So this is really something that is incredible. And these moments of life will help you to become a mother. So you're already a mother having this baby in the womb. But this stage is so important to activate in you resources you don't believe you have in yourself. In the level of opening and completely abandon of yourself, and in the level of strength, power. And so this moment is so empowering, and in the meantime allow you to learn the completely abandon, the completely opening of yourself. This is something that all women that has go through the complete process have been so grown up from that. And the distress of all the women that cannot go through that as something they have missed is so important. So of course it's better to go through the complete process. But in the meantime, I like a physician that I invite on my symposium in Montreal that said, delivery is like preparing yourself to climb a summit. Some people go at the gym to train themselves. Some people are in the shop to read all the books. Some other ask advice that they're networking. Some people turn around people who do the same thing. There is many ways to prepare yourself, but something which is very important is when you are in the mountain, you never know what will happen. We know that the weather can change super fast. It could be super sunny and suddenly big storm, and you have to be ready to accept to take the helicopter, meaning C-section, meaning assistance of the obstetrician, meaning all the weapon that the medical system can give to you to support the birth. And the importance to not forget is to save the life. Until you save the life of your baby, of yourself, you are a winner. So winning is to deliver. It's not to have just a natural birth or you're inferior. No, it's not. It's really to save the life. But if you can prepare yourself the more you can to reach the summit and to do the complete process, of course it will give you certain emotions that are the purpose of going in the high mountains. For delivery, it seems that we haven't chosen it. So the system has made this facility to avoid to go through this summit. But everybody that goes through this summit comes so proud, so stronger in their life that it's meant to be like that. In South America, where there is a highest level of C-section, we start to see after 3 generations now of the highest rate of C-section, between 70 to 90%, that now the women who want to deliver naturally lose this ability, and they're no longer able to do it. So there is a big question to ask to ourselves: are we going to assist so much the delivery that we lose the ability to do it? For in physiology, function create the structure. So if you don't use a function, you lose the structure. And it's what could happen if we encourage to avoid the delivery. Another argument for delivery is that when the baby go into the inlet and pass the outlets, the baby experiences a huge level of compression, around 10 tons of compression around the head and the whole body. There is a kind of activation of several pumps, of, if you want, diaphragm in between, inside the head, the neck, the thoracic and the tummy, which is so important. When we talk about these membranes in between the cerebellum and the brain, you have the tantrum of the cerebellum. You have certain diaphragm in between above the shoulder. You have, of course, the normal diaphragm here, but you have to the pelvic floor. You have diaphragm in all the articulation. The articulation is nearly like a diaphragm in the body. So all this passage of highest level of compression and depression activate pump and create a kind of strain for life for children. If a baby has not got the chance to go through this activate pump, there is ways to do it, for example, by osteopathy, massage, different way to activate this pump, specifically a technique called the spiral of birth. Another aspect which is so important is the concept of microbiome. In the past, we was thinking, oh, we can take the microbiome. You know, it is all these preparation which is in the vagina of the woman, on the nipple. It's all the oh, sorry, my words. The microbes, let's say like that, who are good microbes for us. There is around 10 microbes and virus for one cells in the body. So we have a lot of microbes everywhere in our body. And when the baby goes through that, it activates his immunitary system. So the microbiomes, in fact, is something inside the womb that do the work for you to digest. And so this microbiome is very important, and you activate going through the channel, the vaginal channel of the mother, and by the nipple. But lately, it has been discovered that there is a completely another way to give it to the baby, is through the umbilical cord. And it's appeared that the placenta, during the 9 months, prepare the exact microbiome that the baby is going to need to digest all your life. And at the moment, just at the moment of the birth, you have a kind of injection of this microbiome from the placenta toward the tummy of the baby. This microbiome is you cannot find another way. And so doing a C-section deprives the baby of that. So Michel Audin advised to either, if there is a pure necessity of having a C-section, to let the contraction come, because it's with the contraction that immediately the microbiome from the placenta is injected on the baby. So this is a way, either when there is a necessary C-section to do, a medical C-section to do, to activate the concentration to pass this microbiome. So, but of course there is ways to give this microbiome to babies using gloves and using your own microbes and rub the baby with that. So there is a way today when we understand the importance of this microbiome, because it literally builds your immunitary system for your children. So this is the first things that are very important to have in mind. And for the delivery, so the importance of intimity. There is lately a report that has been made, that has been made by the Lancet, and something was really stunning. You have 83% more chance to avoid any incidents at birth, doing your birth with a midwife, than anybody else. So midwives are amazingly trained. Having a midwife, a doula, a landmark of mothering or of motherhood who is close to you to help you, to secure you, seems to be the most important things to deliver. This landmark could be your partner, of course, but the partner will be in a situation that could be very afraid. Men tend to be in the doing, and at the moment of the delivery could stress so much that their adrenalines go through your skin and activate the fear in you. So if it's the case, it's better that the partner go out. If your partner is able to mothering you, like we said before, the father is like has to be like this Russian doll to be pregnant of yourself. At that time, he is the best person to help you. You can land on him. He will send you more oxytocin. He will support you when you force. He will calm you when you have to release. So this is the best at that time. But either when you have a strong partner like that to deliver, it's also good to have another Russian doll, which could be the doula, and another one who could be the midwives, and of course another one which is the medical system eventually. So natural birth is possible. You have to take all the resources that you can to reach this summit, and knowing all what you are going to give to your children with this compression, decompression during the birth, with this microbiome, and more than that, all the effort you are going to do, and it's more the spiritual level, to give birth. This is really an initiation for you and for your children. You give to your children a strength of the soul, of the spirit, which is amazing. And just to end it, you can find tons of books about tips about pregnancy. But there is studies amazing from Robbie David Lloyd about the birth in birth as an American rite of passage. We talk about the birth in the history. It's amazing things that you can learn on that. And there is book like Accompany Your Children, the accompaniment to birth from Bernard Monteau, and that explain how the baby come from a world going to another world. And this passage of compression, receiving a microbiome, is really like an initiation when you receive magical power before going in life, before going into the matter. And that is something so important. Pressure, tension, microbiomes, effort of your mother, sacrifice, abandon, all that give you a strength for life, which is so spiritual, so mental, so emotional, so physical. It's a moment so precious that is so important to not miss it or to avoid it when it's really a working process, literally. So an invitation of digging on that. You can go on prenataleducation.org to have many videos of all these people that encourage you to go to this type of birth and to share this type of thing with your physician, doula, and any people. You have a lot of websites today that help for the natural birth, but in a good way, without to, as soon you want to master the things and control your environment, you have to be in the flow. If you have to go with a medical team, be in the flow with them, be open. In the meantime, you have always the right on your bed, on your body. So if you are listen the baby, listen your body, you can always ask for more time. So be connected, and all the best for this moment, which is amazing in life, and give completely another enlightenment for you, for the baby, for the society, with what you are going to bring in the world. Thank you.